That ain't nothing. I am a long-distance hiker. One time during one of my hikes out by Nellis Air Force Base, I found a hidden cave. The entrance to the cave was shaped like a perfect capital M. I always enter every cave I find, but as I began to enter this particular cave, my whole body began to vibrate. The closer I got to the cave entrance, the worse the vibrating became. Suddenly, I became very scared and hightailed it out of there. That was one of the strangest things that ever happened to me. This was the comment left on a now deleted YouTube video in late 2014. The video consisted of the son of a supposed technician at Area 51, explaining his father's experiences working at the base. It opens an entirely different rabbit hole about experimental energy, but in its comments was born a new one. The user who penned that comment was encouraged by people replying to him to go seek out the cave again, and this time capture his evidence on camera. It does make for a fascinating tale, and it's clear to see why readers wanted to learn more. The day Kenny Lee Veach set off for this hike, he had no idea the video he would post would soon go viral, and that he would spark one of the biggest mysteries to ever face the exploration community. On October 18th, 2014, Kenny uploaded his search for the M Cave. To his dismay, and those of the readers invested in this story, he was unable to locate the cave, and returned home empty-handed. Many were furious that Kenny seemed to have lied to them for some kind of fame, and wrote hateful comments under the video. Over time, however, there would be a flood of positive comments wishing him the best. These comments were not from the original readers of Kenny's story, but instead, people whose attention was caught by the fact that Kenny was missing. Dissatisfied with the hate he was getting at the time, Kenny swore the cave was real, but that he was too afraid to return to that mountain range. In his video, he explained feeling uneasy and even spooked out by a few different caves he was passing during his search. After some time, Kenny wrote a comment that would prove to be a mistake. With the countless people sending him hate and disrespecting him online, Kenny said that he would go back for a second hike and that he would find the cave this time. Through all the backlash, there was one comment that stood out. "No, don't go back there. If you find that cave entrance, don't go in. You won't get out." Disregarding the user's advice, Kenny indeed went out on his second search. On the 10th of November 14th, he told his family he was leaving for a short overnight trip. 12 days later, his disappearance was being broadcast across local news and radio. On this same day, the 22nd of November, search and rescue volunteers found Kenny's phone next to a mine shaft, the very same mine shaft that was featured in his video. While this is an indication that Kenny had gone to seek out the cave, the volunteers lost the trail at the same location. "We found his cell phone close to a vertical old mine shaft and we can't find another trail," Red Rock Search and Rescue Commander Dave Cummings told News 3. "It doesn't mean that he's down the mine shaft, but we have tracked him as far as we can. We are having our other crews come in from the search areas." Kenny was officially the internet's biggest exploration mystery. Where had he gone? Did he fall down the shaft? Did he encounter someone or something on his hike? Was he captured and silenced by the government? Yeah, maybe not that last one, but as you can guess, endless speculation began as to what might have happened to Kenny. One example of the theories people have been making is this one by commenter Life of Nate. "Okay, so I definitely see it now. At 1544, there is definitely something unnatural about the discoloring of the 4 large boulders that's blocking something behind it. An entrance, perhaps. He said something about it being level with the ground like an area like this. I think he was exactly on the location. Then he turns around at 1553, and the change in his voice like something was scaring him in the cave above, looking at him, is only questionable. Someone or something was watching him in that specific area because that is the cave he found before, just blocked by those 4 large boulders. So when he went again after this video and disappeared, he probably went back to this very location, and the thing or person that was in the cave at 1553 had some sort of setup to capture him. And the little M-shaped cave just to the right of the blocked off spot has to be an indication. Someone told him not to do it. This was clearly a warning, and I find it odd that this is kind of near Area 51. And the vibrations he felt. Did this blocked off M-shaped cave lead to Area 51 underground? Kenny's girlfriend, however, has her own thoughts on what might have happened to her partner. Since she knew him so well, this is the most commonly accepted answer to the question of what happened to Kenny Veach. On the 10th of December 2014 at 10 p.m., exactly 1 month after Kenny disappeared, She wrote this comment: "I am the girlfriend that Kenny spoke of in the video. There are so many posts. I had no idea until a friend let me know. So many people are wondering what happened and guessing different things. You are heartfelt about the sadness around what has happened with Kenny. He has not been found, and I feel that he probably will not be found for many, many months, if ever. I wanted to share what I know and feel about what happened so that you might bring some closure and understanding in your own lives. Kenny absolutely loved hiking in the desert. It was his very, very favorite thing to do. We hiked and camped together all over the Nevada desert, sometimes 9 hours in a day. We found many abandoned mining towns, usually referred to as ghost towns by Nevada hikers. We explored many caves and mine shafts. We were always very careful how we explored them, but Kenny was a bit more daring than I was. We wore snake guards, sun-protected clothing, used walking sticks, brought enough water and food for the hiking hours, and had extra water and food in the car. He rarely drank all his water. We took wonderful pictures of all sorts of things we saw: rusted cars, old falling down buildings, cemeteries, mines, wild animals, tarantulas, scorpions, trees, cactus, and flowers. Our deserts are beautiful, if you have a love for deserts. They're not spooky scary, but you do have to be careful of the terrain and of course bring enough water and food. We always were excited when we saw the desert wildlife, like the big horned sheep in the video. They are stunningly beautiful to see in person in our desert. We would stand quietly still to watch them as long as possible, and I was so very excited to see the one filmed in this video. I want you to know that I do not think Kenny had an accident. I believe he committed suicide. He battled depression for many years and would not take medication or see a doctor. He quit his job a little more than a year before he disappeared. He wanted to see if he could sell his inventions and do what he called cowboy interior design for homes. He bought his first home 5 years ago and had an amazing ability of decorating in this style. He was not successful in getting a business going and was running out of money after a year of not working. He no longer wanted to work in a job for someone else, and as his money decreased, he became more and more depressed. He really did not look for another job. In early October, with seeing his depression increase, I said to him, "You aren't going to pull a Robin Williams on me, are you?" This is when he opened up more about his depression and his thoughts, much of his life about suicide. His father committed suicide when Kenny was in his early 20s. When I asked him the question, he answered me with, "If I decide to do it, you will be okay because you are good at the law of allowing." He asked me what I would think of him if he did it. He also said if he decided to do it, no one will ever find me. It would be easy to do something like this in our desert with the number of natural caves and mines. He could hike many miles in a day, so there's no telling where or how far he could have hiked during his 3-day, 2-night solo hike. When he did not call me after the 3rd day of being gone, I called missing persons. The search for him was started within a couple days of my call. Over 30 search and rescue team members searched 3 different times on foot. 1 helicopter flyover was done, and there was no trace of Kenny or any of his camping things. They found his car in the area I told him it would be. They did find his cell phone by the mine shaft in the video. Mine shaft was only about a 4-hour hike from his car. It is my feeling he left it behind so that he could not be tracked from the GPS in it. He also did not take his video camera with him on this solo hike. It was left in his home, so he had no intention of filming anything. I share this with you for 2 reasons. First, so that you have more of an understanding of who Kenny was and to bring some peace and understanding to the situation. Secondly, if any of you decide to go out in our desert to look for him or the M Cave, be careful and bring enough water and food. Walking sticks are a good idea, and not doing a solo hike. Bring a GPS and make sure that you have let family or friends know that you are heading out for a hike and where and when you will be returning. A search really can't be on a 1-day hike. You would be repeating much of the same hike, just getting up the mountain and then be left with not many hours in the day to do the search. You would need 2 or 3 days at a time, and in the summer, or even late spring, this cannot be done because of the heat of our desert. You would not be able to carry enough water, so please, please be careful. I had many wonderful experiences with Kenny, and will always remember them and have a place of love in my heart for him and the wonderful things we did together. I am healing from my loss and look forward to new experiences with desert hiking, camping, and taking beautiful pictures of our desert. Enjoy your adventures of life, and thank you for the kind, loving comments sent my way. Much love, Sharian. While we will never know for certain what happened to him, we can at least hope that a peaceful end came to Kenny Veach, and that his family have been able to cope since the incident. One thing we will forever know for sure is that whatever happened to him, Kenny quickly became the internet's strangest mystery. If you enjoyed this video, leave us a like so we know you want more like it. Subscribe for more horrific exploration every week.